So here I just want to give you guys a little clip of this, mainly because as we're looking into the legacy of the Romans and what they have on the West, as the textbook mentions, it talked about law, right? And the use of rhetoric and all of these things that we see inside that we read in the textbook. And this idea of being able to speak well and be persuasive is something that was seen as important to these elites. And it's still important in like parliamentary traditions. And we don't see, like I was mentioning to you, we don't get a lot of zestiness in the Senate or on the House floors in the way, I mean, occasionally. But just here's an example to show, and just think about here where the idea of Roman rhetoric and speaking in the Senate and so forth could have its influence.
Even though, and that he expected Conservative candidates to stand on that national manifesto. Is that still his expectation of Conservative candidates?
I think the Right Honourable Gentleman, before taking me to task on this, should perhaps talk to the scores of his own MPs that the Right Honourable Gentleman, the member for Bethnal Green and Stepney, said would oppose his stance. As the Right Honourable Gentleman said, and I quote, "I think it's an obligation to be honest with my own electorate," the Right Honourable Gentleman said.
That's Peter Shaw he's talking about.
But the Right Honourable Gentleman wouldn't understand that. He entered the House on an election address which demanded Britain's withdrawal from the community. Even though, Madam Speaker, he said later, "I wasn't actually opposed to membership of the European community. I said within the closed doors of the Labour Party that I disagreed with the policy." Behind closed doors, he says one thing, in public another. Not the politics of conviction, but convenience, saying anything to get a vote. And that is what he advocates to his candidates.
Madam Speaker, if I can... Madam Speaker, the Labour Party put its manifesto to its membership and got 95% support. I doubt that he could put his manifesto to his cabinet and get 95% support. After all,
All right,
I
so
can only ask you to...
I think you see enough of the point of what I'm trying to drive at. You do not have to write any notes on this. I just wanted to kind of put this clip in to give you guys maybe a feel more for that, again, the importance of rhetoric coming into the political tradition of the West and persuasive speech. And if you ever explore looking at different debates on here, you'll see Margaret Thatcher. She was infamous for her ability to bulldoze her opponents in arguments. Even by people who hated her, she was respected for that, her rhetorical skills. But okay, anyway, so we're going to move on to more aspects of Rome. We're going to move into the shifts in the form of government in Rome next.